I'm back from my holidays and my summer break, and I've missed you so much, you guys. And I can't wait to catch up with you, and I can't wait to share with you some news. I mean, there's a lot, you guys. How are you doing? How is everyone? Just a reminder, Mercury is going retrograde. So if you're feeling a little bit loopy or you're feeling a little bit off, it's because we've got five, yes, five planets in retrograde right now. So hold tight. This is going to be a ride. We've already been feeling it the whole summer. It's been feeling off anyways. And there's just a lot going on out in the world anyways. Speaking of, I just want to just say prayers to Hawaii and Maui, because right now Hawaii is going through a major crisis with these huge wildfires. Unfortunately, people have perished, animals. It's terrible for nature. We went through it here in Greece as well. It was the month of July was horrible here. I was posting about them as well, just because I was so affected by what was going on energetically too. But I did say at the beginning of the year, when I did the sort of like the New Year predictions of what was going to happen in the world events, etc., I did say that I could see fire, a lot of earthquakes, big earthquakes, not just a lot, but big earthquakes, fires, a lot of like natural catastrophes happening in the world. I'm not going to get into the whole discussion or conversation about climate change, but what we are feeling. But what I will tell you is that everything that we're seeing and feeling right now is part of this energetic collective, let me rephrase that, collective ascension that we're all going through, especially for us who are awake. Okay, not woke, awake. So, and we're very spiritually connected to the source, to the universe, and everything that's going on outside our human presence, our human life, and our earthly life. Let me just say it that way. But I just want to say hello and big warm welcome as well to the new subscribers. We have a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new femmies joining our family. Hello and big warm welcome and a big warm hug from me and all the femmies as well. This is a beautiful community that we're building that's growing. We want to keep it kind. We want to keep it soulful. We're here for each other. We're here to help each other, to also to learn from each other as well. This is very important. One other thing that I want to share with you in a minute is something profound that happened to me a few days ago while I was on a holiday. And I want to share it with you because you guys, regardless, I have a channel here. I've had this channel for almost 4 years now. I've been a professional full-time psychic medium for a very long time now. It's been full-time, it's been like 5 years now, but I've been doing this, as you know, for almost all my life. So but I'm still learning. I'm still my abilities, my gifts in quotes are evolving. They're changing, they're ascending, they're developing every day. Maybe not every day, that is sort of like an exaggeration, but very often I find myself channeling through or developing something new. And I'm learning every day. And I'm not just learning from myself, I'm learning from spirit. I'm learning from what I'm doing. I'm learning from reading for you guys, just doing these videos, by connecting with other spiritual teachers and leaders as well, interviews that I do. There's just, we are learning constantly. Not just me doing this, but we're all learning from each other. So that's why we need a community, just like this one, for instance, or any kind of community that you feel comfortable in and then you feel that you belong in, because that's how you learn. You learn from we learn from each other, but also it's good to teach others what we've learned ourselves. So I'm going to share with you in a minute what I experienced. And I want to, and this has to do with connecting with deceased loved ones, okay? And I realized after what happened that it's much easier than you think to connect with spirit and deceased loved ones. You don't have to be a psychic, you don't have to be a medium. But then again, we're all psychic. I say this all the time. We all have psychic abilities. It's just that you have to tap into them. You have to do some work in order for you to open up and to actually understand what is coming through you and to you. I've been talking about this a lot in the last 4 years that I've had this channel. You can go back and check some of the older videos and the older lives that I've done. You can learn a lot about, you can learn a lot by watching them. But of course, I want to do also a Q&A today. I also want to catch up with you guys, but I want to do a Q&A. It's not going to be a reading, okay? I don't do mediumship readings on YouTube because that needs a lot of my energy, my focus, my attention has to be onto the person that I'm reading. And it's much harder when I have people watching this live and I have people in the chat. There's the tech stuff going on. So I'm pretty much distracted. Of course, you've seen me do them. But today is more of a Q&A. If you want to ask me anything, you can ask me anything and I'll answer it for you. And next week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another live and I'm going to do specifically lightning readings for you guys. So, because it's been a while and I feel that some of you really need a reading right now. So as you know, I give out these free lightning readings. I call them lightning readings because they're 1-question readings. So, and I do them live for those of you who are new here. And I'll be doing that next week. So let's catch up with the chat. Hello, hello. Hello. Yes, I'm back and I feel much better and much more rejuvenated, and my energy is back as well. Hello, Issa, Ashley. I missed you guys. I missed you a lot. Oh, I miss doing them. I miss you guys. I'm thrilled to see you too. Oh. Hi, Stephanie, and welcome to the family. I'm so glad we have new families in as well. A lot of our new subscribers, our new family members have come on from the collab that I do with Steph the Alternate Nerd. We do these royal readings on her channel, and those come out on Tuesdays. So you head on over to Steph the Alternate Nerd to watch those readings, and they're mostly around Harry and Meghan. And I know they're very controversial and they stir up a lot of drama, but I say it as I see it, as I feel it, whether people agree with it or not. I stick to what I see as a psychic. So praying for why I agree this is horrible, it's terrible, it's heartbreaking. Oh, thank you, Isa. It's getting a little bit of a tan, a lot of good food, a lot of sleep, and no readings for a couple of weeks, and that really helped, to be honest. Thank you, Barbie Pink. Yes, I love hot pink, as you guys know. And tomorrow I'm taking my daughter to watch the Barbie movie. So we'll be from head to toe in hot pink, and I can't freaking wait. I'm going to take photos. I'm going to post them. I'll probably blur out my daughter's face because she's not giving me consent to post anything on social media. And I agree with that, and I respect that. Jan is in the house. We haven't seen you in a while, Jan. I hope you're doing well. Sheila is a first timer here. Hello, welcome, welcome. So everyone, Oh, Data, what a compliment. Thank you. I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you. Ab- Thank you. I really miss you guys. I have. See, Sandy says, I feel my abilities are growing. I get more and more this year. You're going to see this is the year 2023 is the year that a lot of people are going to connect even more to their higher self, to spirituality. They're going to be more into the more invested or involved into the metaphysical. And there's a reason for that, because as you know, and if you go and watch some one of my past videos, and if our darling beloved mods can just like post in the chat the video where I'm talking about the ascension, right? The 5D, the ascension, the new earth, the what we will be experiencing next year, 2024, starting around March, April, where everything will be changing. So, some people who are not awake, who are not open to what is going on around them and open to who we really are going to have a rude awakening next year. So, Tiffany says she has so many butterflies around. I feel like someone is with me. We will talk about that. Absolutely. If butterflies symbolize something to you and you feel that when you see them, even if it's just one butterfly that just like, flies in front of you, and you feel that is something, or that butterfly means something to you, or that was sent to you by someone, then definitely that's a sign that someone is around you. Let's see. I'm supposed to open up more my abilities. Absolutely. Reiki's fantastic. I'm going to start doing Reiki as well. It's absolutely, to me, because I read energy and I heal energy, I feel with Reiki you have a lot more sort of like more of a tangible, if that's the right way of saying it, way, or a more tactile way of manipulating, in a good sense, energy as well. So if you feel that that's what you have to be doing or you should be doing, then do it. Happy Friday, Anne Marie. Jesus is in the house. Hey, Jesus. I hope you're doing well. I've missed you all really. Because no, absolutely never do. I used to when they were little. I regretted it. I've just deleted everything from my private accounts, anyways, from my personal Facebook and stuff like that. Thank you, everyone. Right. Also, I want to show you something new. So when we do readings, I've been saying that I'll be doing this for a while. Okay, let me give it a little test. Hold on, you guys. How do I do this? Give me a second. I'm trying to figure this out. Here it is. Oh, there it is. So I wanted to show you. Okay. This. So from now on, you'll be able to see the cards. Okay, as I lay them down, when I lay them down, what kind of spreads I'm doing, the way I lay out the cards. For example, I love this. So we're going to test it when we do the lightning readings. So you can see this is how I normally cut the deck. I love that I can do this. This is a test run here, and then pulling the cards so you'll be able to see them here as well. So there you go. This is my tarot camera view. Love it. Look at this. Beautiful. Wands. Just pulled 3 wands over here. So Yeah, I have to get used to like looking at this camera, but at the same time, look, it's a bit complicated, but I think once I've done it once or twice, then it will be a lot more fluid. But there you go. And then you can see the different decks as well and how I use the crystals. And then I have another deck here as well. This is an oracle deck by the same creator as this deck here, the Light Seers. So I wanted to show you that because I'm excited. Right, but since we're not using the deck, so this is Labradorite that I'm going to put on top for protection and recharge as well. Right, so let's get back to, okay, everyone's loving that. I'm glad you guys like it. Cool. I've been meaning to do it for a while, but I couldn't like, whenever I used the other camera that I have, I didn't like the angle. Anyway, I had time now when I did my summer break to play around and I found the perfect sort of angle. So there you go, guys. So I'm excited too. Yay. Right. So I wanted to share with you what happened to me, not just to me. So a friend of mine was with me who experienced that, and I want to share it. And I thought that by sharing this with you, we can discuss a little bit about deceased loved ones, because a lot of people who come to me for a private reading, some of them say, you know what, I lost, let's say, my dad a year ago, and I don't feel his presence around, or he doesn't visit me in my dreams. What does that mean? Is he angry? Is he okay? What is going on? What does that mean? Or people constantly ask me, how can I connect to my loved ones, right? To my deceased loved ones or to my guides, but more specifically to deceased loved ones, because with guides it's a little bit more complicated. So because you may need to meditate first and set an intention to have your guides show up to you or introduce themselves to you. And that might take a little bit longer, and it might take a little bit more work, energetic work from your side. But regarding deceased loved ones, it's a little bit easier, if you will, for a lack of better word, or it's a little bit more validating to you because you know your loved ones that have crossed over, right? So you do know what their energy feels like, or you do know what they liked or disliked, or you do know how to communicate with them. So it makes it a little bit easier. But let me just share with you what happened. But before I do, a quick reminder for you guys, especially if you're new here, to please like this video, because it does wonders with the algorithm gods of YouTube. And also subscribe if you happen to be new here or you happen to stumble upon this video, because you won't regret it. There's a lot of interesting and diverse content on this channel. We talk about astrology, spirituality, we do celebrity readings, true crime. There's a lot. Right. So let me just tell you what happened. So as you know, so for the last 8 days, we were guests at a very good friend of ours, and specifically my friend, she's my girlfriend. She's like a sister to me. We're very aligned, we're very, very connected. Since the first moment that we met, basically we had this incredible connection. We felt like we were sisters, a sister from another mister, in a sense. But she's a Taurus. We're different, but very much alike at the same time. Now, we've been going to they have this beautiful estate in the sort of like northern part of the Peloponnese here in Greece. It's just the beach is right in front of their estate. It's absolutely beautiful. They have orchards. It's just magical. The energy in that place is incredibly strong, and it is a very spiritual place, I can tell you. We've been going there, we've been visiting and staying at their place the last 3 years. First time I went there, I was just like, I wasn't myself. I felt like I wasn't myself, but I actually realized that I was my true self. I was very quiet. I was constantly in a meditative state. I was seeing a lot of spirits and feeling a lot of spirits around me, but not in the sense of feeling overwhelmed because of my abilities, but more so just feeling that there was an incredible connection to that place. So my friend, this friend of mine, she believes, right? I read for her very often. I read the tarot for her often. A lot of times she consults me or she asks for advice. But we've never really done like mediumship reading. So I've never helped her connect with anyone on the other side because she didn't, she, her parents are still with us. She hasn't really had that need, or she hasn't had anyone crossover that she needed to connect with. So 3 weeks ago, a mutual friend of ours, her best friend, unfortunately crossed over. She was very, very sick for 6 years. She had cancer, and so that was hard. That was hard for everyone, especially for her two little girls, because she left behind two young girls, not little, they're young. One's 11 and the other one's she's going to turn 14 in a few days. So it's been very, very hard for the whole family, and especially for my friend because they were very, very close. So the funeral was the day before we arrived at her estate. And one thing I've got to share with you is I don't go to funerals. I just don't, unless, touch wood, it's someone in my immediate family. I don't go to funerals. I can't. I just can't. I have to protect myself. I can't. It's just crazy town. And also, when people find out what I do or who I am, then it gets even crazier. And I just can't deal with it, don't want to deal with it, etc. So people who know me know that that's how it is. So no one gets offended if I don't show up at funerals. So anyways, the funeral was the day before we went there. So even before we went there, I was like, oh dear. And I know her family. I know the girl, our friend who crossed over, I know her family. Okay. I know her kids very well. I know her husband, and I know her parents and her brother. So I just knew even before I got there that this was going to be a little bit hard, because I knew that somehow there was going to be either her parents who would want to meet up with me and have a reading. They would have questions. Of course, when parents lose a child, regardless how old they are, they need closure in some sense. They need a sense of closure, because still, my friend, she was sick for 6 years. Everyone was expecting this outcome, but still, it is hard on people, on your immediate family when this happens, on the immediate family when this happens. And I knew that somehow I would need to sort of help her parents. What I didn't realize was that not only and I did, I'll tell you everything, helped her parents, I helped her children, because I spent a whole day with her children and her parents, talking to them, helping them understand why this happened to her. But what I wasn't expecting was that this friend of mine, my sister, my soul sister, right, that she was going to have the most profound experience along with me 6 days after the funeral. And let me tell you what happened. So My friend, my soul sister, I'm not going to mention any names. They all watch the channel, so I just want to, I want to say keep their privacy, etc. Um, so she's a believer of, as I said, tarot and what I do, etc. But she's never had a reading with me regarding mediumship. We've never done that before. She's always recommended me to other friends and colleagues, etc. But she herself has never had that first-hand experience. Now, 6 days after the funeral, it was really late at night. So we were just like chilling on the sofa. We were just talking, just catching up because we were so busy with the kids the whole time, husbands, kids, etc., etc. We just had a few hours to ourselves. The kids were in bed. We put the kids to bed early that night. So we were just bonding and chatting and catching up, etc., etc. And suddenly I the energy in the room just completely changed. It was almost like we were, you know how you see in movies where there's like an energy force that moves in a space and everything gets distorted, and it almost felt to me like the oxygen or the air was sucked out of the room for a few seconds, and instantly I saw our friend who had crossed over. This was 6 days after the funeral, and those of you who've had readings with me, or who've been following my channel from the beginning, you know that I've said, I keep saying that it's very hard when someone crosses over. We all need to give them some time before we try to connect with them, or before they show up to us, or they reach out to us. Sometimes it may take up to a year, but it definitely takes a few months, and I will explain in a minute why. So this was completely unexpected for me. I was like, whoa, because that was so powerful. It's happened to me before, but not as so soon after the passing of someone. It was extremely powerful, to the point that my friend who was sitting there, and she had her back, let's say, turned. So our friend showed up behind my soul sister. And I look at her and I said, "Don't panic, but we're not alone." Of course, she panicked as soon as I said that, but she thought that someone had walked in. I was in the estate, and it was just us and the kids who were in bed, right? So for a second she panicked, and I said, "No, no, 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 we're not alone. There's a spirit here, and this is our friend." Wow. Instantly, my whole body changed. As you know, the whole, like, I went cold. I had goosebumps. My face changed. Everything changed. And I could see her crystal clear. I could see what she was wearing. She had a bright light behind her. It was very, very strong. It was very powerful. And I have to say that we were talking before she showed up about some stuff that were happening in her family, in my friend's family. Hold on, because I've got to. And she instantly said some things to my friend, to my soul sister, that involved her family, her husband, and her parents, that I didn't know about because I wasn't that close to her, right? And so they were completely and instantly validating. Now she said some things that were validating to my friend. And then in the end, my friend started, she was bawling her eyes out. She was having an incredible spiritual experience at that moment. And the last question was, our friend said, I'll be sending you signs a lot. So my soul sister's godmother to one of her children. So she has big responsibilities towards those children, right? Now that their mom is not here with us anymore. And she said, look out for daisies. She said, that's the sign, look out for daisies. And my friend said, daisies? I don't remember her liking daisies. That's not her favorite flower. I mean, what's the connection with daisies? And I said, well, daisies is very important because I see a daisy tattoo as well. Maybe one of the children will get, one of the girls might get a tattoo of a daisy. It's just, I see daisies all over. Also, she was wearing red. Red wasn't her favorite color. Purple was her favorite color. So everyone associates purple with her. And she was like, why red? I mean, why? But red is, here it is. Sometimes they show up wearing a color that maybe, a lot of times they wear their favorite color when they show up in readings, for instance. And this is to validate to you that this is your person, that this is indeed the one that you want to connect with, right? But this time she was wearing red, and we were like, why is she wearing red? But red is very significant, and I'll get to that. But let me explain to you about the daisies. Hold on, before I get to the daisies. Anyway, so I let my friend go, our friend go. She gave us some information. She told us something that was something about some personal items of hers that her family wasn't aware of. Now, here's the thing. As soon as things calmed down in the room and I started sort of regaining myself again and coming back to normal, my friend looks to me and she's like, Natalie, look. And she does this. And then look at the TV. The TV switched on. The remote was on the table. It was far from us. So there was no way that someone sat on the remote control or anything. The TV just flickered on. And the first thing that we saw was a sort of like a telenovela in Spanish. I want to tell you that her husband is Spanish and they speak Spanish in the family. And they were speaking Spanish and they were saying something about the family, something that had just passed on to my friend that we needed to share with her parents. And as the camera was panning, it panned to the same scene. There was the table and there was a vase with daisies in it. That was the first validation for my friend, my soul sister. She was like, did you see the daisies? I was like, yeah, I saw the daisies. Now, next day, our friend who has crossed over, her children called my soul sister and said, you know, we want to see you because those girls are struggling right now. They lost their mom. It's a lot. So we went to visit the girls, and I obviously saw her parents too, our friend's parents. And I needed to use the restroom. So I had to walk into where the girls and their mom were sharing the room to use that restroom. And what do I see on the table as I walk into the room? Daisies. A vase with daisies. I grab it, I go out, and I show it to the mom, and I'm like, who brought this? She's like, I have no idea. We had so many people coming in and out because of the funeral, et cetera, et cetera. I have no idea. I've never seen this before. This is the first time I've noticed the daisies. Needless to say that my friend like changed colors. She was having such a spiritual moment. Oh, and something else. I mentioned about these personal items that my our friend who visited told us. And while I was sharing this with her mom said, we just went over there this morning and I found these two boxes and I found two watches, blah, 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 all the items that I had told the mom that she wanted for her to give to her children, that she had She had packed these 2 boxes of things that she wanted her to be passed on to her children. And it happened that day. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is this is nothing new to me, who I am a medium and I'm doing this. But the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because up till now, I kept saying to all of you that you guys, and even when people book readings with me, mediumship readings, and they're like, I lost someone last month and I really want to connect with them. And I always have had a hard time connecting with someone who's recently passed. But I just realized that it has nothing to do with the time frame or how long it's been since they passed. They will show up. They will reach out to us, to you, to me, to everyone, if they have something to share, something unfinished business, something that they feel it's important for the family or for you, something that they feel that is not going, they're not going to be rested. They're not going to find their peace over there if they don't share it with us. So what I'm trying to say here are there are no rules. I honestly thought up until this happened that there were certain rules to what we're doing, to mediumship, to being a psychic, to tarot, to spirituality, to esotericism. Okay. But I realized there are no rules. The veil right now and the way where we're heading is so thin that there are no rules. We can connect to the other side, and the other side can connect to us without rules, without prohibition, without us even trying. If they want to, they will show up and they will pass on a message. Okay. And that's really important. So I know what you guys are going to ask me. So why is it the other way around? Why is it that sometimes you don't feel someone when you've lost someone, someone who was very dear to you, a loved one that they passed, and it's been a while, it's been a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you don't feel them anymore. You don't feel them around you. Why is that? Is that some people have asked me, are they angry at me? Is it because they saw things when they crossed over? Did they see things that I said about them or things that I did that they feel disappointed and they just don't want to connect with me, or they don't want to show up? No, they don't hold grudges, by the way. They absolutely do not hold grudges when they've crossed over. So it's not a grudge. It's nothing like that. Sometimes it's because you're not ready to receive a message, or maybe you are too desperate, for lack of a better word. Okay, it's not the best word right now, but that's the one. That's the one I'm going to use. Desperate to connect, that you are not going to be able to see. It's more so about connecting rather than why you're connecting, or why they're connecting to you and they're reaching out to you. Sometimes we just want this validation there is life after death. So the easiest way to get that is through a loved one that has passed. Sorry, hold on. Sorry, you guys, I have a technical issue here. So it could be because of you are not ready to receive a message to understand. You just want that validation that they're around. But that's not why they're here. Yes, they want to validate that they're around you. They are around you all the time. Whenever you think of them, whenever you talk about them, whenever you call out to them, they show up. They're around you. You might not feel it at that moment, but they are around you. Then you might not feel it because you're too depressed, you're too sad, you're too stressed. It could be that there's something else going on at that time that is distracting you from that, but it doesn't mean that they're not there. Hi guys, I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry. Technical issues. I hope you guys are still here. Just give me a thumbs up if you can see me, you can hear me, everything's okay. I don't know what happened. It's so hot here as well. Okay, good. Sorry about that, you guys. Mercury retrograde and technology, there you are. So, what was I saying? So yeah, there are reasons why sometimes they don't. Also, they don't want to interfere with our lives. This is the other thing that I was saying. They don't want to interfere with our lives when we feel that we don't feel them and they're not coming in. It happens. Sometimes it happens in readings, okay? It happens in readings where people are like, they come for a psychic reading and they're like, can you tell me if you can, if you feel like my grandmother, if you feel my uncle, or if you feel, my husband, etc., etc. And sometimes there is no connection. They won't, I will feel their energy, but they won't come forward. And don't take this personally. It doesn't mean that they're annoyed with you or there's anything wrong. It's just sometimes they feel that it's not the right time for them to connect with you, or they just want to sort of sit in the wings, sit in the background, and just be around you, watch you, but not really show up. I hope that really helps. But I do want to hear your questions as well. If you have any questions regarding this, please drop them down below in the chat and use a Q. Hold on, let me readjust my camera. There you go. Okay, I think that's better. Okay. Has anyone come forward with a dark spirit, like someone that's not a good person? What do you do? Yes, Yes. So sometimes it has happened, but what do I do is, anyways, before I start a reading or a session, I always protect myself. Even when I do readings online, here on my channel or someone else's channel, I always protect myself. Okay. I create a shield of protection around me. But if it's sort of like an entity or sort of like an energy or entity that's sort of joyriding someone else's energy, what I will do is I am going to get rid of it for that person. I will get rid of it. Sometimes it takes a long time. So I might have to repeat the session, the not the session, but I might have to repeat that. So I will ask whoever I'm, reading at that time, or whoever has that issue, I'm going to ask them to let me know, to send me an email a few days later if they still feel funny, if they feel drained, if they have headaches. So that means that that entity is sort of resisting to leave and detach themselves from them. What is the age group astral projection? What does that mean? So astral projection means that you basically disconnect. So your soul, your spirit basically disconnects from your body and travels back to home, to the other side, and connects to your higher self. So astral projection means that you're actually flying and you're free. You're in your spirit form. That what it means. So that is what vivid dreams are, lucid dreams are as well. It's some form of astral projection. So because when you astral project, it's almost like you're Superman or Superwoman, flying high above, and you can see everything. Because why? Because you have you're basically entering the other side home. um that's the most the quickest way of explaining it. But I've done videos on astral projection and lucid dreaming as well, which you will find on my channel. um Okay, so repeating numbers. So when you see repeating numbers, they're also called angel numbers, but that is synchronicity. That means that there are certain synchronicities happening in your life right now, and it's also validation. It's another way for your guides, your angels, or deceased loved ones to validate their presence. So especially if you've been talking or connecting to your guides or someone or a deceased loved one, and you need a sign. So the easiest way or the quickest way for them to show you, hey, I'm right here, is through repeating numbers. So you can dive deep into the repeating numbers and you can Google, let's say, the meaning of the angel numbers. But if you just constantly see 111, 333, 222, etc., mind you, when that happened, that experience, what the story I just told you, it was 3:33 a.m., by the way. So 333 was a very significant number. And since then, my soul sister, my friend, has been seeing threes everywhere. So I told her that's the number that our friend is sending you. That's her way of showing you that she's around. The threes, for instance, right? So it means that it's synchronicities, that everything is in sync. You're in sync with the other side, with your higher self. Someone I know sees a headless man. He can see the body but never the head. Sees it in the same spot and follows him to the door of his apartment. What does that mean? Should he protect himself? Okay, so this depends. I can't really tell you what the headless man is. It could be a deceased loved one who just shows up like that, okay? Especially if they had like a freak accident, for instance, or if, let's say, they had a car accident and they died instantly, and let's say, their whole face, for instance, has been um, uh, affected by it. It could also be a spirit or an entity that lives or sort of roams in that area. Your friend should protect himself by setting boundaries, just like you do with humans here on Earth. It's just telling this spirit, this entity, that they're not welcome here, that you are not opening that door for them, that door is closed, and that they should leave. Just be assertive. Be assertive. Also, if it follows him to the door, what I would do is cinnamon. Just tell him to put cinnamon right outside his door. Cinnamon protects, is very, very powerful protective herb. You just put it outside your door and on his windowsills, and that will protect. And when he does that, just set the intention that this is to protect and not allow for any entity to enter his space. Also, candles. Another simple way of doing it is a black candle. Light up a black candle. Put it, depends where he feels or he sees this headless man. Just set that candle there with the intention, because black candles, what they do is they absorb negative energy, just like black crystals do. My dad passed away 5 years ago, and he's been in my dreams. Is this likely me just thinking about him, or could he actually be visiting me this often? Well, if you've been, so it goes both ways. So if you've been thinking a lot about your dad or whoever it may be, it's like calling them. It's just like texting them. That's a way of like saying, "Hey, I'm thinking of you. Hey, I want to feel you. I want to connect with you." So by thinking of him constantly, it's just like giving him the just like texting him and saying, "Hey, I want to see you." So he shows up in your dream to just say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm right here." Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it, because sometimes they will, like, if you overdo it when you constantly want validation, or you constantly ask them to show up, or you want them to be around, at some point they will stop doing that because they need to go on and do their own thing, right? So they can't be around you every day, all day, kind of like pampering you or just validating to you that they're around, you know? So, yeah, and if you don't see him in your dreams, it's fine. Doesn't mean that he's forgotten about you, he's moved on. It's just that he's off doing other things. Sometimes they may have chosen to reincarnate, although most souls don't reincarnate that fast. Okay. It takes a little bit longer. And also, don't forget, the sense of time is not linear, and sense of time over there is very, very different to our sense of time here. Actually, there's no time there. There's no time. Things move at a different pace than here, than on Earth. I'm sorry, is that common to keep getting same message? Keep getting same message from my ex. Absolutely. So if they haven't had the chance to sort of redeem themselves, if they've done something when they were here, and they just, and there is unresolved business or unresolved issues, yes, they it's very common for them to do that, to like bombard you with I'm sorries, or to bombard you with something until you actually feel that coming from them and you accept it. Because a lot of times when let's say you're not getting along with your mom, okay, you don't get along, or you've fallen out with your mom, you haven't spoken to her in a while, and suddenly she dies, she crosses over, there's a lot of unresolved stuff there, right? You feel guilty. You're like, I should have done things differently. I wish I was there before this happened. I wish I could have told her these things. Well, they feel all that. So they keep coming to you just to tell you it's okay. Because as I said, they do not hold grudges. When they're on the other side, they see things very differently. ego is ripped away. You don't have ego anymore. You don't have these human emotions, this human ego that rules that dictates your actions and your reactions, right? So they see things very differently from the other side. So that is pretty normal, I would say. um You don't need to try to find them. They will find you. This applies for anything, for everything, not just repeating numbers or angel numbers. It applies for everything. Let's say the daisies of my friend. Now they're all, the whole family is just noticing daisies. They will find you. Okay. The synchronicities come to you. Spirit will come to you and find a way to connect with you. That's why I'm saying sometimes we have to stop looking. Stop looking and saying, that's a sign, that's a sign, is that a sign? No, that's a sign. No, you'll know. If it's a sign from a loved one, from your guides, or from angels, you'll know. You don't have to go looking for it. You are. You're not scary data at all. Let me just tell you, my grandfather died 3 years ago. This was right at the beginning of the C thing, the pandemic. And as far as I know, I was like my grandfather's favorite, and we were very close. We lived like he lived in Mauritius. I'm in Europe, so I wasn't always there, but we had a strong bond, and he crossed over. He passed, and I couldn't make it to his funeral. I couldn't make it to say goodbye. It was the beginning of the pandemic. It's so far away from here, etc. So I felt terrible. Like I didn't take it well at all. I can tell you, he has not come to me, and you would expect me being the medium of the family that he would come to me first. No one except my dad, okay, his firstborn son, has seen him in his dreams or has felt him. That doesn't mean that my grandfather doesn't like me. I don't take it personally. Thank God I do what I do. So I know I would probably take it personally too, Data, if I'd be like, why not me? But no, it's just that sometimes they have nothing at this point in your life and where they're at. They have nothing to sort of like connect with you about. They just want you to keep doing what you're doing, keep, go about your life. And when it's time, they will show up. Trust me. Can be in 5 years, can be in a day or two. Doesn't matter. It doesn't mean don't take it personally, basically. They'll show up when they're meant to show up for you. You're very welcome. It's okay. It's okay. But can you see a loved one but in a dream? Because that happened to me. Yeah, the easiest way for them to show up is in dreams, okay? In your dream. That's the easiest way. Why? Because when you're in a dream state, your body's relaxed, your level of consciousness rises to the point where they can meet you halfway there and they connect with you much easier. That's why dreams. So dreams is the most common way for them to connect with you. Was one my grandfather mother's side to give me a sign that he's watching over me, but it's never happened. But he does show up for my brother through mediums. Why is that? You think just what I said before. It's just sometimes like I know, like in my dad's case, my dad has three other brothers, so there are four of them. Only my brother has seen my grandfather in his dream, as far as I know. The reason why I feel is because they're they had a special relationship, but not necessarily not a negative one or a positive one, but they were very, very similar to the point where there was a lot of friction between them, especially when they were younger. So I do feel that through my dad needs my grandfather's presence now more than ever because he's going through some stuff right now, more than ever. So that's why he's showing up only to my dad and no one else. So if your brother right now, and I know Issa, everyone's going through stuff, but I feel that probably it's your brother right now that needs this connection more than you do, the spiritual connection with your grandfather than you do. And that's why he's more so there than with you. But that doesn't mean that he's not with you. It's just that he's not, making his presence known in that way, in that sense. Um, Do past loved ones get stressed, or does it disturb the peace on the other side when family? No, no, it doesn't affect them. Again, they are devoid of the ego and the emotions. They're on the other side. They're at home. They're at peace. They see things from a very, very different perspective than we will ever see as human beings living on Earth. They see things from way on top. And because there is no sense of time, it's almost like they can see present, past, and future all at one, like parallel, like a rainbow cake, like layers on a layer on top of a layer on top of a layer. So, what is happening in your family now does not affect them. It's not like a grandma or an uncle or sitting there feeling upset or sad because of the discord or what's going on in the family. Absolutely not. They will not interfere. They will not, they will not interfere, but they might sort of show up and maybe pass on like a message, or if there's something that is unclear that they want to sort of help out with. But no, it does not affect at all what their piece and what they're doing on the other side. um That's interesting because people who unalive themselves are very special cases. Those are the ones that it takes so much longer for a medium to connect with, especially because that's a breach of contract. You do have a contract, a life contract, when before you're basically conceived, you're before you're even in your mommy's belly. So it is called, and as you know, we have 5 exit points, and we choose which exit point we want to take in our lifetime. So for those who are alive themselves, usually it takes a long time for them to show up, to connect to you or with a medium. But your stepfather comes to you in your dreams often, and probably because you have unanswered questions that he feels that you have, and it's his way of sort of trying to maybe help you with those unanswered questions. Why do I rarely remember my dreams? When I do, it's a dream I've had before. So a lot of people don't remember the dream. So a nice little exercise, if you will, to do that is usually we remember our dreams or the dream that we've had just before we wake up. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes where we're still in that state where we're still not completely wide awake, or the level of our consciousness is still not there. So we still remember details and things of our dreams or parts of our dreams. So I would say the first thing that you do as soon as you open your eyes is, if you have a spiritual journal next to you, just write down, even if it's in bullet form, what you remember. Okay. And slowly but surely you will sort of like remember more and more of that dream. But a lot of people don't remember their dreams. This has to do with a lot of things. um Depends on how tired you are, whether you get some kind of sleep aid. Because if let's say you take melatonin or sleeping pills or CBD, or you smoke or whatever it is that you do, sometimes you go in such a deep, deep, deep sleep that obviously you won't remember your dreams when you wake up, because it takes much longer for you to get out of the REM state and the dream state. So it's usually when you're on a different state of sleep that you're able to remember the dream. So that's perfectly normal. But the dreams that you do remember, if you're someone who doesn't remember your dreams normally, but you do remember once in a while a dream, or you remember who you saw in your dream, that's a psychic dream. So that's either you've connected with a higher self, deceased loved one, or it's a psychic sort of not dream. It could be a premonition for something. Like I'm going to conversation with him, but maybe you should assure him he'll be okay if he is busy. Yeah, you guys don't forget. Don't just tell them it's fine if they don't want to show up, if they can't. It takes a lot for them to show up to us. What happened to my friend, that experience that we had with my friend, that took so much for her. I want to say that for 2 days I was sick, like literally sick, because it was so powerful for me too. She used up so much energy from the room, from my friend, from me, that we were all sick for 2 days. Headaches, low energy, tummy issues, the whole thing. Okay. So it takes a lot for them. Don't forget. It does. It's not easy. They have to change their whole um they have to they vibrate on a much different frequency that we do, a much higher frequency. So they have to kind of meet us halfway there. And they have to drop that frequency, that vibration for them to meet us. So we're able to feel them, connect with them, see them, etc., etc. So it takes a lot. So we need to give them a break. That's what I'm saying. Don't constantly do it. If you really feel that you really need to connect to someone because you want to feel them, because you're going through stuff and you want to feel their presence, their love, do it, but don't keep doing it every day. It's not a game. Okay. It's not something that, it might be fun because, yay, I'm feeling validations. I feel I'm being touched. Oh, yes. I see orbs, or they switched on the TV, or this happened. Yeah, it's fun in a sense, or it's extremely validating. But on the other hand, it takes a lot for them to do that. Um, and can we get there? You go. Absolutely. They find a way that it resonates and it resonates with you, but and also validates that you're connecting to your loved ones. My boyfriend just came to me in a dream, showing the most brilliant neon blue, looking at me, letting me know I needed to stop grieving so hard to let him go. There you go. That too, when we grieve and we cry and we think of them all the time, we are not letting them go. We're not letting them go. We've got to let them go. They're around. It's not goodbye, it's see you later. Death is not goodbye. It's see you later, basically. For them, later could be as soon as 5 minutes with their sense of time, how things are in the spirit world. For us, it could be 50 years. Yeah, it's a long time, but we still will be with them. We'll connect with them. We'll reconnect with them. We'll be together. They're part of our soul families. Most people in our family are part of our soul family there too. So they're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. Let's see. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, tech issues. I had tech issues before I came in live as well. So it's one of those days. Sorry. Right. Okay, I'm glad you guys it all resonates for you guys. Is there a reason why my male cousin who was very close would never visit me in my dreams? I explained it before. It's just also something else I forgot to mention. Sometimes when a death was traumatic or was very sudden, it takes for a long time for even for that spirit, for that soul to really realize what's going on. Okay. They won't let go sometimes. So they might sort of like hover around or roam around for a long time before before they decide to kind of like completely sort of follow the light and, cross over. So it depends on also the case or the way they died. people who have unalived themselves and people who've had like traumatic, sudden deaths, um, they too have sort of like a hard time dealing with that, and their energy is all over the place. So that could also be a reason for that. If she was okay, but then she said she was good, it made me feel at peace. See, but see, you talk to them in your dreams. So this is incredible that you don't need like a medium. What does a medium mean? A medium means someone who acts sort of like a conduit, or someone who's like the middleman that helps you communicate with the other side. You don't need a medium. You can do it all on your own. Like Jesus says here, in your dreams, you can actually ask them questions, connect with them, tell them what you feel, tell them what you want, and they will get back to you. They will respond. They will do the same. You're very welcome. So I hope you guys this helped understand how we connect with our loved ones. And it's not that hard. It really is not that hard. It is just, if you believe in the afterlife, if you really believe that they're still around, they might not have the physical presence, their body, but their soul, their spirit lives on forever. Our souls and our spirits have live on forever, and we have lived for so long, which is why we have so many past lives, past trauma, generational karma, karmic relationships, everything in this universe, in this world. And when I mean world, I don't mean Earth, I mean universe, galaxy, everything is interconnected. String theory. Everything is connected. So that's why you're connected to, that's why we do energy cord cutting. Okay. Because even let's say you were married once upon a time and you had a bad relationship with your spouse, and you've had a very traumatic divorce, and that happened years ago. If you don't cut those energetic cords, you're still connected to this person. Why? Because you are connected to them. You shared a life with them. You shared probably children with them. Doesn't matter how long you were married to them, whether it was 1 day, 2 weeks, 20 years, you're still connected to them, because we're all connected to each other. We're all connected to the source, which is why we are not, we are beings, okay, not just human beings. We're beings, we're entities with so many incredible abilities that we're now realizing how much power and how much above this earth experience we are. And we'll be, and you'll see 2024 is going to be the year where it's all going to come together, and you're going to see how all these abilities are going to really sort of blossom for everyone who is awake, who is in sync and in tune with their with spirituality, with who we are, with why we're here. It's going to be incredible. I'm telling you, it's going to be incredible experience for most. I often wonder if the souls of people who pass instantly with no warning of what is about to happen, do they know? How do they cope with instant change? That's why you have guides. That's why you have always, when you cross over, there's always someone on the other side waiting for you. They're guiding you. It could be your guides. It could be a parent. It could be your guides and a deceased loved one, a parent, a child, a sibling, because they are, it's like you, because you, when you live your human life, when you come to earth and you live this life that you've chosen, you forget where you come from. Why? Because you're given the earth experience, the human experience, which is ego, emotions, feelings, greed, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? comes with it. So you forget where you come from. It's in your subconscious, but it's not in your conscious. It's not in your consciousness. And so when you cross over that, when you're going through that transition, you need someone to remind you, someone to guide you. It's like you need to go through orientation all over again. Just like when you're born and you're a baby, you're not, you're, when you're babies don't know how to talk, they don't know how to walk, they have to learn all this from scratch, right? You've done this 1,000 times before in your previous life, in your past lives even, okay? But every time you do it, you start afresh. You have to learn it from the start. That's what happens when you cross over. You have some things you have to start from scratch. You have to relearn or sort of readjust, and you need your guides. Guides meaning spirit guides, guides meaning deceased loved ones. There's always someone on the other side who is going to help you in the beginning. Oh, thank you, Fran. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you guys for listening, and sorry about this whole mess up with the with me kind of like disconnecting for like 10 minutes. I really apologize. Something happened. I think my computer overheated and it just like rebooted all on its own. So I've heard that for some, especially those who pass on the US dramatic, there's a place period to recover. There is. Nurture. Yeah, absolutely. It's it's an adjustment period. It's an adjustment period when you cross over. It takes a while to shed your human experience, okay? To shed that ego, to share those emotions, to you cross over and you still miss your loved ones. You still, that's why not most, all of the souls usually stay around and stick around until after their funeral. Why? Because they miss their loved ones. They want to be around them. But that's when they realize they don't have a physical body. So they can't do the same things that they did when they were here. And there is an adjustment period. There's an adjustment period. And of course, they need some nurturing and some comfort and some comforting. But when they realize that actually back there on the other side, that's our home. That's our real home. Okay. We're only visiting here. We're only visiting. We're here to learn stuff. We're here to learn stuff through the good and the bad and the challenges and everything. But our home is over there. Our loved ones, our soul family is on the other side. Yes, I do. I do past life readings too. Absolutely. I love those. I absolutely love past life readings because most of the time there's a correlation between past life, what we see in a past life reading, to what's happening in someone's life now. There is some kind of correlation, and especially certain people that you keep reincarnating and living different lives with, you can learn a lot through that, through these past life readings about certain people in your life now that maybe you have a turbulent relationship, or there is, you have some kind of connection with them that you feel that you can't get away from. Okay. So there's a lot to be learned through readings, past life readings, mediumship, everything. So whenever you go to a reader, a psychic, a medium, um, take like a sponge everything that comes through, because everything that comes through might not resonate at that moment, but it absolutely is given to you and it's shared with you and it's channeled for you to help you understand a lot about you, your path, and your own journey in this lifetime. Right. So I think that's it for today. Unless you guys I'll take another question or two if there are any. But before we do, just a reminder to like this video, please, and do subscribe if you're new here. There's a lot more content coming. There's a lot more sacred, highest higher knowledge that I am going to share with you, and I share with you. And don't forget that next week I'll be doing a live just for you guys, lightning readings, to help you guys. And also we will be talking a little bit about the planetary actions and what's going on right now in our what's called in our galaxy, in astrology even. um oh, but these past, I'd love to get a reading. So many love our home. Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of, if you want to book a reading with me, you can head on over to my website. You can check out what services I offer. I do offer mediumship readings, 30-minute tarot readings, psychic readings. Just head on over and take a look. I also, one of my favorite things to doing is the spiritual coaching, which is like life coaching, except that I use spirit and my abilities to help you overcome things or challenges that you're going through right now in your life, or to better understand your own path too. Also, a reminder that I do have a crystal shop, illuminaryshop.com. I source high grade crystals from all over the world. They're ethically sourced, okay? I'm going to be I'm going to be changing things up on my shop. I feel like I kind of like neglected my shop a little bit, but I have some incredible ideas and things that I'm working on, including, you guys, some merch stuff. Let me know if you're interested in merch. I will be linking the merch shop with Illuminary Shop as soon as everything is ready. I have some incredible ideas, and I'm also working on my own tarot deck, but not there yet. But I will announce everything in due course. So, if you want to book a reading with me, you just head on over to FemmeTarot.com. So on my, okay, let me see what you guys are saying. Yes, we will talk about that. I'll be doing another live. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. I'll be doing a collective reading as well. And one other thing that is going to be changing as of September is that I'm going to promise that I'm going to be doing monthly tarot readings for all the signs. These are not going to be live. These are going to be pre-recorded and uploaded, so you guys know what to expect every month. Okay, what is going to be happening to you according to your sign, but mostly always check your moon and your rising, not so much your sun. Okay, those resonate a lot more than when you watch, and this applies not just the readings that I do. If you watch other readers as well, always check your moon and rising more than your sun when you listen to readings. Data, I'm gonna have that the big deck energy and all that. And if you have any ideas, email me for merch. Data, I'm expecting, because you're good. You're good. You've got some great ideas for merch as well. So you guys, if you have good ideas for merch, DM me or email me. Right, you guys, thank you so much for joining today. I absolutely love you. I missed you. I'll be back very soon. Most likely, I'll be back on Sunday too for another live show. I might do them then, the lightning readings. I'll see. But check the community tab always. Sometimes YouTube is a pain when it comes to notifications, etc. Make sure that your notifications are on, and check my Instagram as well, because I'm changing some things on Instagram too. I want to make it more of like, I want to make my Instagram more about self empowerment, more about positivity, affirmations, etc. And I'm going to be posting things that will help you in your daily life. It could be also something that resonates more for you on a daily. So, you guys, love you. Take care. See you soon.